This yarn is incredible. It's the Da Vinci Code, but instead of being set in the Vatican, it's set in the Vatican of the Southern Hemisphere, Lidcombe.
Oh my god, the Vatican of the Southern Hemisphere, baby, there's so many lebos.
This is a real-world, ancient order conspiracy that actually involves the Opus Dei. Deus meo. It's nuts. It is line for line this book. The only difference is the scary albino monk is Dominic Perrottet, and actually, now that I look at pictures of him, that's not different at all. So really, there is only one minor detail, and the difference is that in real life, Robert Langdon isn't played by Tom Hanks, he's played by Tom Cruise. If this doesn't sum up your face after hearing what I have to say, what will? Probably this. Had a good look? Alright, roll the intro. First shocking point. Sydney is running out of land. All these coffins that make you think, Christ, what are we going to do with all the immigrants in them when we need to jam them in actual coffins? Well, how heinous is this? Because the Liberals keep cramming in more and more migrants like it's human Tetris. Yeah, switch them around, always wait. Overpopulation in the major cities is causing land to become very expensive, to the point that our own government-run cemetery operators can't afford to bury people anymore because the land is too expensive. Isn't that incredible? The Liberals have not only squeezed you out of the property market in life, but also in death. You can't even rest in peace anymore. And so the Liberal solution, as always, is to do what they do every time they're faced with a problem, completely miss the point of the board game Monopoly and create another Monopoly. Which, to be fair, actually would have worked in this instance, as instead of the current 5 cemetery operators having debts of 300 million, this new single operator, which even had a great name, it just sounds like a cheap online gambling site.
£1 crown, go on, you've got equity in your home, roll the dice.
£1 would keep $5 billion worth of capital in the control of you, the taxpayer, and
pass the savings on to you. That's the £1 crown guarantee that you won't be able to enjoy because you're dead. And I'm sure the extra $100 will alleviate the grieving of your widow. This foot tub's so good I miss my husband's funeral.
£1 could actually afford the expensive land because $5 billion is a lot of money. But then
enter the Manchurian candidate, Damien Tudhope, whoever the that is. Just look this up. New South Wales Finance Minister, that's right.
He's the smoking gun and
confirmed Opus Dei.
Yeah, now it starts getting deep. An Opus Dei infiltrator of the New South Wales government. You've got to admire the gusto of taking on the suffering of Christ, just like he was programmed to, tightening that little inverted spiky dog collar they wear on their leg.
Benedictus.
Truly sacrificing himself for the causes. You know what he did? He rushed through an alternative option to the £1 option that basically said, no, let's have 2 operators, one for the believers and one for the heathen. Just make St. Peter's job easier.
Trying to get in from Waverley, are you? Not an old Petey's watch.
This literal separation of church and state was shit canned by all the experts, Investment New South Wales, DPIE, basically saying, are you just transferring state assets over to a business for no reason? Yeah. No. That was a close one. Well, better punish myself just for good measure. But it went to Cabinet anyway in, how's this for a smoking gun? A very similar way to the way that Gladys got through all her Daryl Maguire Wagga Wagga stuff. There was 5 options presented to Cabinet. The first one, the £1 one, went through the ICAC approved procedures, so it was all above board. And then, I assume they slid in transparency from there until we got to number 6, which was pretty much just that Krusty the Clown becomes a congressman speech of, want to see how a bill really gets approved? Which is exactly how it went down. Cabinet with a little wink wink nudge nudge says, oh no, we're never gonna resolve this one. Let's just pass it on to the Expenditure Review Committee. What's the Expenditure Review Committee? This. Well, that's a bit of an oversimplification, but the Expenditure Review Committee makes so much sense why they sent it there when you hear that its nickname is, you ready for this? Catholic Cabinet, comprising of an all-star cast of Matt Keane as chair, Premier Perrottet, Finance Minister Tudhope, Toole, and the Minister for Customer Service, Victor Dominello, just in case the New South Wales Minister for Finance wasn't obscure enough. And the reason it's called Catholic Cabinet is because they're all Catholics, you stupid c***. All meeting in catacombs under Parliament wondering, hell on earth brought on by ICAC if we approve this, or actual hell if we don't? Jesus, talk about damned if you do, damned if you don't, eh? Now, and this is the even more top secret part, they especially don't want it merged because as it stands, the Catholic operator, dig this, is the only hybrid public-private institution in the state that doesn't have to have its finances checked by the Auditor General. In other words, literally only God knows how much these operators of Catholic Metropolitan Cemeteries Trust are paying themselves. And so when this passes, CMTC will control most of the remaining vacant land, while the public operator will be so pressed for corpse space that they'll need an instant injection of $500 million just to buy enough land. And we'll have to pay that because, again, thanks to the libs, we can't resort to the Ganges option of, yeah, let's just chuck them down our biggest river and, oh no, we f***ed that up too! And they'll essentially have to start developing that land tomorrow. They'll have to start developing it tomorrow in order to keep up with the advantage the Catholics will have, not just in space, but profits, as that land advantage will keep compounding on itself as they're able to buy more land with the vacant land that they have. So how genius is this? This little Catholic cabal has pulled off what the losers in the communist society at uni are constantly preaching of infiltrate the institutions, dude. Infiltrate them and stir shit up, I suppose. Catholics actually did it. Because unlike the dreadlock cunts, they don't smoke weed. They only smoke good old harmless tobacco. Just thought I'd chuck that in because I like the idea of a 10-year-old watching this and thinking, I feel like cigarettes. They infiltrated the government, and look at this. This expenditure committee can't be a coincidence. It can't. And they figured out how to transfer $5 billion from the state into the church. And honestly, if I'm being honest, that's fucking gangster. First off, the aesthetics of it. I just like that part. Like in the reign of Dominic I, the state is now run by a bunch of shadowy figures in monk robes speaking to each other in Latin in a room lit by 1,000 candles. That is a massive improvement from the old comedy duo of, I want to turn Sir Henry Park's house into a duplex. Oh yeah, why not? After all, as a wise man once said, double up, boy. Second, an unbroken chain of the church indoctrinating the worthy in the doctrine, telling them for like a millennium and a half, you know what must be done, my son. And the whole chain knowing what that means? They've earned it. It's like Christopher Skase, it's clever. I bet even Emperor Constantine was in on this, thinking about it. Okay, we'll make sure the entire Roman Empire has one god, and that'll set off a chain of events to assure that Matt Keane is on the expenditures committee. Imperator, what about Victor Dominello? Who the fuck's that? So yeah, it's about 20 times more money than what Gladys Berejiklian was caught out for. Yeah, it's going to significantly impoverish the state. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this will end up in ICAC. But I gotta say, I do enjoy the state being back in the hands of people that believe in anything at all. I'll take someone that believes in anything over someone that believes in nothing, even if it's something as egregious as, I like the director of Drive. I'll hang my hat on that, because believing in something means that you'll stand up for something. And credit where it's due. Dom looks like he'll be doing a probe into pork barreling. Well, the secular part of it anyway. And it does remain to be seen if he'll actually follow through on that. But I've got to say, I am savouring this breath of fresh air because having someone in power that is a little more big picture than, what's my agenda today? Oh, a long line of scum of the earth wanting to make an endless stream of houses that look like tiny malls. Same as every day. No, I don't have to think about what that'll look like in 10 years. After all, it's not like we're running out of land. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. What's yours? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, give us some money on Patreon, and sign up to our WeChat.
Got him! Ooh!